through our leading through our Lord we prevail. I think that Michigan should have the death penalty. I'm not saying that we have to use it all the time, but as much as I adore and I consider with great reverence all of the holy patriarchs, especially the See of Peter. Still, uh, it doesn't mean we have to use it all the time, and it certainly is not compatible with Christian charity. No, it is not. But yet, not all people are Christian, and not all Christians have charity. So therein, we just eroded the argument against it. So I will, it's for those. Number one, it's for, we'll call it the tip of a pyramid. It's the very top, the top point of the pyramid that people can look up to and say, "Oh, it makes them think twice." This is something that somebody's going to consider if they're a repeat offender. Normal people, it will just be one of those things they discuss over a coffee or the dinner table or at a debate. But people who've been in prison more than once, this will be something that they will think about every time they violate parole, every time they ignore the rules for probation, every time they get set back. And I think it's important that we have this. This is one way I'm probably not um, a perfectly um, saint-guided believer. I believe that it is necessary. I believe this is one of the problems in our society. You see it all the way from teenagers all the way up to people my age, millennium or not millennials. We're not millennials. We're Generation X. Um, you see a lack of responsibility. You see people thumbing their nose, especially now, at law enforcement. You see law enforcement. It's interesting to see peer pressure with cops and see how bent over backwards, how facilitating they try to fit in with common culture. Like the badge doesn't matter. Oh yeah, we're gonna go to this protest. Oh yeah, we support this, this and this and this. You take an oath. Nothing else matters. I still stand by my oath, and I took that oath over 26 years ago. I still stand by my oath. I will never abandon it all the way to my grave. And it's supposed to be the same for people who wear a badge. EMT, fire, police, still an oath, still a badge. So, but it's sad to see how police and even some security, that are invested with so much authority, they're like one step from being cops. This is, basically what I was in the military and um, what I did as a civilian for the Army. Pretty much that, you know. And then in other ways, we are actually empowered more than the police. So it's kind of a unique, force protection is a unique area. Um, but working hand in hand with the intelligence community, it's just unique. But anyway, um, you know, the oath is all that matters in upholding the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, your state, and any local ordinances, as long as they don't conflict. Always the primary thing being the last order given that's lawful, that's based on the national Constitution, not on the state, not on the local ordinance. So, that's the way I look at it. Some may disagree. They may think a local ordinance preempts the Constitution. I disagree. Yeah, I am a federalist, but I don't believe in federal fascism. But that being said, and I'm not a Democrat, I'm a libertarian. I believe that We can have a federal system, but we can limit powers. That's what the three branches are for. Not to empower, to separate and trickle down. So there's less power centrally. But anyway, that being said, I think the death penalty is a strong deterrent to violent crime, to repetitive crime, to abhorrent crime. And I wish the state of Michigan had it. I wish we would bring back the death penalty. Our prisons are full, stocked full. I mean, Saginaw County just built a new jail, 6 years ago? A new jail because the old one is too full. So now they have two jails. And we have the debate. You got liberals that say, oh, yeah, we need to just rehabilitate. We're not rehabilitating. That's why the prison system doesn't work. Then you have conservatives that are saying, oh, who cares about rehabilitation? They need to be punished for what they did to society. Then you got people like me that are in the middle like, hey, you're both right. But you know what? We just keep burning money on the same conversations, the same debates. Sometimes the same people going in and out of jail. Gotta change something. Just at the dynamic of all the targeting of my family, I need to change something. And very soon I will. I need to change the dynamic so that my daughters are not stigmatized and have to suffer anymore for another 8 years. But we need to change something national or statewide to control this uptick in crime and instigators and protesters and violent crime and theft and fraud and murder and drugs and human trafficking. When they talk about the Michigan corridor, we should be ashamed of ourselves. Bring back the death penalty. That'll definitely take some of the shame away.